Brian Fabiano, Monroe. A couple of things I was questioning on the renewals. In regards to the principals, how do you come up with the salaries? So for instance, you have Dawn Graziano recommended for, the continuation or the reappointment, I guess. And you have a salary of $125,000 and change with a master's plus 30. Longevity, 25 years. But then you have a new principal that was hired last year, also master's plus 30 at Mill Lake, that is making approximately $8,000 more than a principal that's been in her role for, will be 6 years with 25 years of longevity. How does that work?
The mins and the maxes that come with their contract is what it goes by. And that's, and then they have their percentages based upon whatever their contract states.
So how do you think a principal feels after they have 25 years in the district and they're making $8,000 less than someone who just got hired and has been here for a year? I mean, is that typical? Okay, we'll take it for that value then. I see a number of supervisors are on the agenda, principals, directors. I don't see Mr. Dowling on the agenda. Should he be on this agenda, or are certain people not on this agenda at this time? Is there a different schedule?
The short answer to your question is no. There's no different schedule. The folks who are being offered a contract or offered a contract by this time. The folks who are not being offered a contract at this moment are not on the list.
So Mr. Dowling is not being offered a contract?
I'm not going to discuss any specific individual.
If he was being offered, would he be on the agenda today?
I'm not going to say anything more about any particular individual.
So there are people that could be recommended next month. They don't have to be this month. Is that what you're saying?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
So if you're going to be recommended for next year, any staff that would be recommended should be on this agenda, taking out the names.
So I'll just repeat what I said because I understand the question. So it's a matter of state law that employees who are going to be offered a contract for next year either be offered a contract before May 15th or be informed otherwise. And that's simply a matter of state law.
Right, so if they were offered a contract, they'd be on this agenda.
I don't know that I'm going to say any more than I've said, but I think we understand each other.
Great, thank you. So I guess that's months of wasted time here on the residents of this community, students, parents, grandparents, our senior population, many of people who came out to support Sean Dowling. And each one of you who ran for this board said you have the best interest of our children in mind, you have the best interest of our schools in mind, and the best interest of our taxpayers in mind. Quite frankly, I'll call your bluff because you didn't hear what the people said here. And what people have come out to say about Sean Dowling, what that man has done for the children in our schools, you should be a damn shame to yourself. I don't know if you know this, but he's about 6 months away from being able to retire. He's got a wife who's sick, who's on expensive medical treatments right now. If you can sit here in your heart as a board member or not a board member, just as a human, and think it's special to do what you're doing to Sean Dowling, maybe you didn't know his circumstances, but I'm sure you did. Maybe you didn't. You should be ashamed of yourselves. And as people in this audience have said, We can't tell you how to do your jobs, as many times as you apparently say that I tell my wife how to do her job here. She's just like any other board member here. But what we can tell you is we are taxpayers and we are voters, and we'll hold you responsible in November. I said it once and I'll say it every meeting until we get to November. We will hold you responsible. And I'll come back up, because should you try to push the election, we'll hold you responsible then too. Thank you.